Welcome, dreamers, to my channel. I am the Channeling Goddess. So today we are going to do another dream interpretation reading. So today is a short one. It's not as long as the other ones that I normally have, but I think it has some pretty good messages in there. I'm sure there will probably be more that'll come out during this reading, but we'll go ahead and get started. Now, before we do, a couple of disclaimers, like I always say. Number one, these are my interpretations of my dreams, okay? So if there's any additional messages that you, get from the reading itself, that is the purpose of the reading, to see if there is any additional messages, I keep burping, to see if there's any additional messages that I may not have gotten that may be specific to you. But that is the purpose of sharing these dreams. Number two, please make sure that if you are looking to get a more in-depth reading or a more in-depth interpretation specifically for you, that you tap into your own intuition. And the way that I like to do this is by taking 3 mindful deep breaths. Sometimes I inhale for 4, hold for 3, and exhale for 5 to 6 seconds. Sometimes I do it longer, just depending on how I'm feeling. This particular method helps you tap more into your intuition, helps get you grounded, and it's also very calming for the nerves, I find. Okay. So we will get started with this. I will say, get your drink, whatever your drink of choice or your snack of choice. Get you a nice glass of tea or, water or wine or beer, whatever floats your boat. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay. So let's open up the dream book. All right. So it says, in my dream, I'm going out to eat with Jaleesa and some other people. I keep thinking if Jaleesa didn't come with her husband, she could have brought someone else, and that person could potentially be my partner. Jaleesa asked me to sit with her, and I agree. She sits at the edge of the table, which puts me on the bench. So there's think of like the table is right here. There's a bench there. Okay. It says she sits at the edge of the table, which puts me on the bench at the head of the table, and there is nowhere else. There's no one else there with me. So think of like a long table going this way. She's sitting right here at the edge, but at the head of the table, there was a bench, but there's nobody there. So I'm the only person who would be sitting on the bench. Okay. It says, they have some kind of small fried food with a red sauce. I'm assuming this is shrimp, but I can't remember. Some type of red sauce. It says the waitress comes around right then, and I'm trying to see how do I sit down on this bench because it doesn't pull out. So the bench is firm on the floor and it doesn't pull out. So I'm trying to figure out how to get in there comfortably. Okay. Okay. It says, the waitress asked me if I tried the item. I told her I will try it now. I take a bite and it's pretty good, so I tell her. I eventually wipe the table down and remove the red sauce on the seat and sit down. So apparently there's something on the table and the seat where I'm sitting, so I remove that so that I can sit down. Okay. Later, while we're sitting there eating, someone comes to the table and tells me that a woman named Yvette came to see me. I think I know who it is, okay? I think I know who this person is, okay? When I come around the corner, there's like a tight space, so I have to kind of push my way to get through to get to this person. When I see her, I am so excited and I hug her so hard. She tells me she didn't know if I would remember who she is. I tell her, how can I not remember the great Yvette? So how this person actually is famous. I'm not saying their actual name, but this person is famous. It says, somehow we end up on the floor and I'm holding her tight. And I think she collapse of pure happiness. I tell her she's the reason I start my podcast, even though she's not, but I think I need to say this to her. And I realize that part of my mission here on earth is to uplift Black women and people. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning of the dream. So it talks about me and this person named Jaleesa and some other people going out to eat, right? And I assume Jaleesa came with her husband, and I assume had she brought someone else, that person would be my partner. I feel like this was me in my dream, like seeing, hate to say this, but like the future a little bit. I think this dream was a little bit more prophetic. I think this person is going to have something to do with how I meet the person I'm eventually supposed to spend my life with, or at least someone I'm meant to be in a relationship with. And this person is going to be part of it, which is weird for this particular person because yeah, I'm not going to get into that because it'll reveal too much of who she is. Okay. All right, then she sits at the edge of the table. Now, I didn't write this in my book, but when I go, like sometimes when I reread my dreams, I can catch on to the feeling I had in those dreams. And I remember thinking that it was weird that she didn't sit at the head of the table. This type of person in my everyday, like natural life or physical life, she is the type of person that will take the head of the seat at the table, right? She doesn't do that. I'm going to sit on the edge. She don't believe in that. I'm going to take the head of the table because I'm that bitch, or at least that's what she thinks, right? So it was surprising to me that she did not take the head of the table. And I felt, I don't want to say uncomfortable, but I felt a little bit uncomfortable. And I think I was nervous, which is why I didn't realize you could just sit down and then like swing your legs over the bench. Cause like now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, why didn't you just sit down and swing your legs over the bench? How hard is that? But in the dream, I guess I was so flustered by her not taking the head seat that it just threw me off. And this is to me spirit telling me that I am going to be in positions of power. I am going to be in positions where others, because I'm the scripture that I'm hearing is your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. So because of that, it was spirit reminding me that things are going to turn around. People that would normally take like the head seat or the head, like that would sit at the head of the table or assume that they should be there, those people won't be able to deny your greatness. They won't be able to deny the things that spirit is doing for you. The only people who would probably deny it or like have a hard time believing it is myself. This is just spirit's way of getting me prepared, right? Even when the lady, the waitress that got to the table, she didn't ask Jaleesa if she was like, oh, do you want this? She didn't ask her. She asked me, right? What do you think? I hadn't even sat down yet, right? I think it's also, spirit is also telling me that there are people who are going to want to impress me. And I'm not the type of person that like that. I'm not the type of person that I look for people to impress me. And I think that's specifically why it will happen, because I will be genuine about like, because I feel like in the dream, if I didn't like it, I would have said, oh, it's okay. Or it's not my thing. Right. But it was actually good. So I wanted to give her that compliment and tell her like that it was actually good. Right. But this dream is a reminder to me that things are about to shift in my life. I'm going to be put in a position of power, which if I'm honest, that scares me. I have always been comfortable with being in the background and not putting myself out there. And I think it comes from a life of dimming myself down. It comes from like always trying to have other people get in front of me, because if there are other people in front of me, then won't nobody see me. I used to be like that when I was in the choir. I love to sing, but not where people could see me. Like shower, listen, you cannot tell me anything when I'm in the shower singing. But if I get up there shower and there are people around, like, you know, I'm outside in a public place singing, I cannot do it to save my life, because I'm very, like, naturally I'm a shy person, which people find that funny because I am naturally a talker in my everyday life. But I have to get to know you first, right? And I can get more comfortable with talking to you. But singing is something that feels very sacred to me, so I don't do it often. And it's weird that I'm thinking about that now, because I just had a dream last night about me having to sing in public, and me singing, there were some things that were happening and my voice needed to like ring out so that certain things could move and things like that. And in that particular incident, there was no fear, right? Because I had to do what I had to do. But I feel like this dream was reminding me that things are going to shift. Things are going to change, and you're going to be in a position of power, which is not somewhere you've always felt comfortable being. You've always felt comfortable being in the background, but that's over, right? There is no There is no being in the background anymore. You're going to have to be out in the forefront. Okay. And then later when I was sitting down and someone came and said that someone else was looking for me, this person that was looking for me in the dream, like that, her name is not the name that I gave in this book. I mean, in the, when I wrote the dream down, but this person is famous. This is somebody that I know that is famous, and they were looking for me, right? And I was shocked. Like when they called the person's name, I was absolutely shocked, because I was like, that can't be who I, like in a dream, I was thinking that can't be who I think it is. And then she was like so excited to see me, and I was like so happy to see her, because like, crap, I'm meeting a celebrity. You're cool to me, right? And she was like, I didn't think that you would remember me. And in the dream, that's why I was like, how could I not remember the great Yvette, right? And it was because to me, she was like, she's a celebrity. She's awesome to me. Like, the few things that I've seen about her, like her character is like fits with the person that I met in that dream. But it was interesting to me how she didn't think that I would remember her. And even me telling her like she's the reason why I started my podcast, even though she's not. Like I knew that in the dream, because I haven't even started a podcast. And it's not even something I'm thinking about doing, but it might be a good idea for like the dream state. But side note, anyway, let's go back. In that dream, she, like when we fell to the ground and I was holding her, she was like happy. And I think me saying what I said to her is really like, it really gave her a lot of encouragement, and it gave her like a lot of like to know that she was on the right path. But even her like saying like, I didn't think that you will remember me, as if to say that the things that she had done were like not memorable, which they were to me. She was awesome to me in a dream. Like, and even in my waking life, like if I ever got to meet her, it would be like so freaking cool. I would love it. But in this dream, I knew that this person needed to hear, even though it wasn't true, she needed to hear me say what I said. And I realized like in the dream, because we were still sitting on the floor when I woke up, we were still sitting on the floor and I was holding her. I realized that she needed encouragement, and that part of my duty and part of my mission on this earth is to uplift Black women and Black people. Not saying that, I'm not going to do that for other people, but specifically, this is part of my mission here. And I knew that with everything in me in that dream. Like I just knew it. I knew that's why I told her what I told her, even though it wasn't true, because I feel like she needed that encouragement to know that she could keep going. Okay. So like I said, this dream is relatively short, but I am going to pull some cards just to see if we get any additional messages. I don't think we're going to pull anything from the angel deck. I'm going to pull some from this deck. This deck always reminds me of, like, it's so dreamy to me. So I'm going to pull from this deck and let's see what we get, okay? Oops. I hate when it does that. And then I keep hearing, like, you're the celebrity. And I know that's sad to say. Not even sad to say, but it's like, it feels arrogant to say that, because I am nobody's celebrity. I don't even know a single celebrity, and I don't think a single celebrity knows me, but it was almost like she knew me and didn't think that I would like remember her, as if I met her in a group of people, because that's what it felt like in the dream. It was like I met her in a group of people, and we had like a moment or a conversation or something like that, and she thought that I wouldn't remember her, as if she was not memorable, but she was very memorable to me. Okay, I'm trying to figure that out because I didn't like the blur. Okay, so let's get a couple of cards. Spirit, any additional messages from the dream that we just got? Has okay, baby steps. It says action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. Yep. Okay, can we get some other cards? And that baby steps to me is talking about like tapping into that leader energy that's in me that I avoid like the plague, but taking baby steps and like learning my way into whatever this is. And then I have activated earth. So it says power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. Yep. I'm definitely being led there. Down this path of leadership, even though it's something I do oftentimes try to avoid. I'm definitely being led down this path. And And I need to stay on this path as well because things are about to be activated for me. But Spirit is asking me to take baby steps because it's like, because like what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like a baby deer being born and like walking on its legs for the first time. That's what this is going to feel like to me. Okay. And then we have messenger. It says serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Yeah. This could also mean that I am a messenger, which is why I felt like in the dream, that I am supposed to like help like Black women and Black people. That was specific at the end, like, cause when the dream was like in between like my dream and waking state, I kept getting that feeling like almost like I was hearing it in my ear, that was being said to me. And then the bottom deck energy is star family. It says you're part of a team of souls calling support. Yeah. And like she was calling in support. She was there to get support from me, right? And I feel like at some point I'll be calling in to get support from her because we're meant to help each other. But also be careful of codependency and boundaries, to be like, set my boundaries, because like this person, I was excited to see her, but I can imagine that there will be other people who will want my support, other people who will want to like be around me and tap into my energy. And this could definitely be for somebody else as well. There could be people around you who want to tap into your energy, who wants to be a part of your light. And Spirit is saying there's nothing wrong with that because you are meant to help and support others, but be careful of codependency and boundaries. Okay. Let's get some more cards from the fantasy novel deck. Any additional messages about the dream interpretation, Spirit? We have the Sailor, so it says new influences, wanderlust. And then we have the Weaver. It says rediscover transition. Yep. And then the bottom deck energy is the Poet, so it says relationships, vulnerability. Yeah. So like think about this. In this particular dream, this actress was vulnerable with me, and we were like, I feel like we were building relationships and we were building community. And that makes sense for this bottom deck energy. Like we were friends, like not even in the sense like we hung out, but like soul friends. Like we knew each other on a different level. And even though she needed me, she didn't know if I would still recognize her because, like I said, maybe she thought she was unmemorable to me, but she was not. And I think a lot of times we are in situations like that where we meet people who mean a lot to us and we feel like we're just another passing phase or just an unknown individual, and we're not. Like there are people that are coming into our life who are a part of our star family. They are going to be connected to us in this life, and they have been connected with us in lifetimes before. And then this card, it says the Sailor, this person, this could be something about this, like, because this card always makes me think of Pisces energy. It also makes me think of like kid energy. This right here makes me think of kid energy. Spirit is saying to me that new influences are coming in. So like there's newness coming in. I am going to be stepping into a whole new path of leadership. And I just need to be prepared for that. Take baby steps. You know, sometimes things that will happen will not make sense. Like specifically in this dream, the woman sitting at the edge of the table and not at the head of the table, it didn't make sense to me. Because in my waking life, this woman would never, okay? She is not the type of person that would take like the seat on the side. She would demand the head seat, right? Regardless of who was there. That's the type of person she is. But Spirit is saying that there are new influences coming in, and even people like her who would demand head seats will not be able to deny my power. And it'll be the same for you, because if this message resonates with you, you'll know. You've been feeling it. You've been getting messages about like you have a leader, like you have leadership abilities, and you're meant to be a leader, and it may be uncomfortable for you. It may not be something that you necessarily want to do, because I heard that in a reading one time and I was like, oh, this is definitely not for me, because I like the lady was saying, she was like, oh, you're meant to be a leader. And I was like, sure, not me. And then like immediately after that, she was like, yep, I'm sure you're saying to yourself, no, not me. This is not for me. I've never been a leader. I don't want to be a leader. I'm perfect being in the background, which is exactly what I was saying. but I've been getting that message for a while, and maybe you have as well. If this reading resonates with you, you've been getting a message for a while that you are in a leader, like you're meant to be a leader, you're meant to guide, you're meant to help and support. And your time may be coming very soon to do this. It is going to be baby steps. It's going to be a new something new that you're tapping into. You may also get a message about this. So it says messenger, Sirius energy, bring harmony and balance. Check in with yourself often. Check in with yourself to make sure that the leader in you is not getting arrogant. Check in with your ego. Make sure that you ground. Make sure that you understand that you are, like, anyone that you are dealing with is still a human being. They're still a person, and you should treat them as such. Okay. And then this Reaver, it says rediscover transition. To me, this Reaver talks about like this leadership ability that's in me has always been there, right? It's not new. It's new to me because I've never felt like I was a leader, but something in my bloodline, something in my past has always been there. And I don't know why, but this particular card is making me think of, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Wanted. There's a part where the guy has to like stick his hand in this little contraption and grab this, and he thinks like it's impossible. But the guy in here, his father was essentially like a powerful, I think he was like an assassin. I don't know why I was going to say assassinator. He was a powerful assassin, and this was in his bloodline. And Spirit is just trying to tell me like this leadership ability that you oftentimes run from. It is in your bloodline, which is why you can't avoid it, which is why you keep hearing readings where it's saying like you're meant to be a leader, and you immediately run away from it. You're going to rediscover who this is, and it's going to move you into a new transition of opening yourself up, or me opening myself up into what's coming for me. Okay, so let's get some meditation cards and we'll end the reading. Okay, any meditation messages that we need to look out for, Spirit? Anything we need to hear at this time? One? Okay, yes. It says nurture yourself. So it says nurturing yourself involves listening to your needs and tending to your physical and emotional well-being. Yeah, definitely ground. I know I need to keep my energy grounded because I know that this will be a lot for me because I am not somebody who deals well with leadership. I prefer to be in the background, but I'm sure that there's no way around this. And then my bottom deck energy, or the bottom deck energy, is embrace stillness. It says, in a world filled with constant movement and noise, seeking moments of stillness allows you to create a sanctuary for emotional healing. Yeah, like I talked about in this card, check in with your ego. I'm going to always check in with my ego, check in to make sure that I'm being fair about how I'm treating others. Just because you're in a leadership position and you can be an asshole doesn't mean you should be. But I know that a lot of this is going to hinge on me making sure that I tap into my energy, make sure that I do a little bit more meditation, make sure that I ground my energy, and practice stillness, practice silence, and which is something I've been doing recently, which is at least once a week. And sometimes I'm able to do it more, sometimes not, but I practice 30 minutes vow silence where I don't say anything. I'm not holding, I'm not on my phone. I am just silent, right? I don't speak. I don't say anything. And part of the reason why I do that is also to keep myself humble, to keep myself open to the messages that may be around me, because I am naturally a talker, and I will spend my entire day talking. But in those moments, I quiet my mind. Not even quiet my mind, because that's inaccurate, because I sit there in silence, and whatever comes, right? And sometimes in that quiet state is when I hear from Spirit the most, is when I get those messages that I need to hear, and like answers that I've been trying to get to, like dreams that I've been having. Okay, so my dreamers, this is all of the messages that I have for you today. This is a short one, but a good one. So make sure that you leave a comment down in the comment section below if you have any additional messages that you've gotten from my dreams that you think you might want to tell me about. I'm definitely open to hearing. But anyway, I will see you next time in my next video. Bye.